We're back with the breakfast and Plus TV Africa. Ezekiel Nya Etok joins us this morning. He's an architect and also a governorship candidate right there in Akwa Ibom State. It's good to have you join us. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
All right, then we'll start off with the Punch newspaper this morning. Quite interesting headlines you have on the Punch. It talks about EFCC arrests 87 forex dealers in Abuja and Lagos. That's the forex crisis. Forex traders angry as agency conducts more raids, seizes phones. Bauer meets senior bank officials and dealers association. Licensed dealers back raids and share pros and cons. There's a lot going on. Floods, federal government okays 506 billion naira east-west road contract. Aggrieved presidential aspirants have right to complain, APC is quoted to say. In power, you have a Senate to grill minister over 147 billion naira projects. And just before we move away, Ganduje begs Lagos Hausa community to back Tinubu Shatima. Davido's nanny cook may face charges for negligence. Very unfortunate, the death of Ifeanyi. Oil theft, 134 ships rust as court case drag. Oil theft, 130. And you also have a casino abduction. Women abducted while raising money wedding. These are some of the headlines you have this morning on the Punch newspaper.
Let's quickly go over to The Nation. On the front page, there's a picture of a VP candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Shatima, addressing leaders at a part of Lagos State. This is Alata Rago in Ojo. All right, it's campaign season, and Labai Rabo, okay. Irago, okay. This is a producer, director just corrected me. Labai Rago in Ojo, local government area of Lagos State. This is an area that some of them would say has a high number of people who probably seem to be sympathetic to Labour Party candidate, presidential candidate Peter Obi. So it's quite interesting to see how this will pan out. More from The Nation, the big one there, 2023 APC is unbeatable in Lagos, says Tinubu. Shatima Ganduje rally Arewa community. APC presidential candidate preaches unity. Federal High Court names task force on pre-election cases. Canada plans to welcome 1.4 million migrants from Nigeria, other countries. I'm sure this is of interest to Mercy. Afeni Ferret drops Adebanjo as acting national leader. Rivers government okays 78 billion naira for completion of projects. Others flooding are planned to avert food shortage by federal government. Okay, is this still on paper, or are they going to actually do their due? Road housing project contractors owed 956 billion naira, according to Fashola Fashtabash, you might want to call him the Minister of Works and Housing. All right, these are some of the headlines on the front page of The Nation.
Well, we move away from The Nation and let's quickly check out another paper this morning. In front of us, we have the Leadership newspaper. U.S. Embassy yet to speak on Bagudu's Kalatu's death. I hope I got that correctly. 2 months after, leadership crisis. Underneath, refused to respond to letters, emails by the leadership. So there's been an investigation that's going on. Ex-U.S. envoy Russell Hunks fingered in, the hotel bombing, now elusive. Again, please, DSS keep mum over call for investigation. Too much of, deep stuff going on right there. INEC to spend 355 billion naira on 2023 polls. We hope that, guarantees free, credible, and fair elections. Cabal won't run my government, says Atiku. So whose government is Cabal, running? It feels like you're trying to send a message right there. 2023 PDP New Generation unveils Youth Campaign Council. And terrorists demand 30 million naira ransom for 39 abducted Katsina children. Rivers releases 78 billion naira for projects. That's the governor, yes, Wike. That's the much we can take this morning on the leadership.
Most times I look out for news on PDP crisis, especially in the nation. I don't know why the papers are not handling, covering that today. Sometimes I also look out for, there's one picture of the G5, but today seems they've stayed out of the news. But Wiki is still there, so I think that says something. Now, the Daily Trust has what it calls an exclusive. It says, our dialogue with IPOB, other agitators, Peter Obi, says cumulative leadership failure caused agitations. I'm not an Igbo candidate. I'll use North to develop Nigeria. Remember that statement by Atiku Abubakar. Obi says it's not an Igbo candidate. I think people should join one and two to maybe understand what the two men mean. Finance Minister, Budget DG, Acting Accountant General, sabotaging Buhari's anti-graft war reps. You're on your own, or your PDP leaders slam Makinde over Tinubu. This is a really hot one. CBN's Naira redesign triggers panic buying of grains price hike. Ethiopia Tigray ceasefire as Obasanjo facilitates talks. The old man is still actively doing his mediation work. FG to establish 3.5 billion Naira Space Museum in Abuja. 18 foreigners arrested for possessing voters' cards. It's really sad. And EFCC raids Kanu Forex Market, arrests BDC operators. Let's bring in our guest this morning, Ezekiel Nya Etok. Let's start with what we have in front of us, Ezekiel, which is what Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, is saying that he will dialogue with IPOB and other agitators. Is this going to help his chances of becoming president of Nigeria, Ezekiel Nya Etok? All right, I'm told that we do not have Ezekiel Nya Etok with us, so we'll try to get him back. Like we always say, these things happen, Mercy,
of course,
with the network. Maybe we'll keep hoping for strong network data coverage in the country. It's
no. So, but
do we have him back?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Fantastic. Yes, indeed. The devil is a liar, Ezekiel. I'm sure you agree with me. So is his mother-in-law. Let's start with the Daily Trust, which was the last paper we looked at, and Obi saying he'll dialogue with IPOB and other agitators. Will this make or mar his chances?
We live in a country where we really don't think through processes. We don't think through things. We are so emotional and sentimental. And this is very well orchestrated by our political leaders who think of anything that will be in their personal interest. We don't have nationalists as people that step up into governance, but entrepreneurs, people who want to, who believe in state capture for their personal gains. To that end, because Obi is Igbo, whatever he's going to do is going to have that coloration. But I think that what I've always expected the federal government to have done all along, everybody knows that once there is a problem in a family, the first thing you do is call a meeting and dialogue. I mean, it's just commonsensical. So for Obi to say that I will dialogue with IPOB and find out what's right, it's the right thing to do, but it could send a wrong signal to the others. So for me, I believe that people should step up to do what is right to do, because posterity, even if you lose today, posterity will judge you well. But you want to be politically correct. And, maybe again, there is another aspect to it, which is that maybe sometimes you may need to be silent on certain things, because the Bible says that wisdom is profitable to direct. if I were to be OB, I will play down to a great extent on things that concern, the Southeast, because like they will always say, a brother is a brother. But the person in politics that you need to buy their confidence is the Northern brethren. So I would expect him to engage more on things that will bring the confidence to the average Northerner, and not necessarily things that you can do when you get there. You don't need to say it. But for now, I believe that if I were to be his advisor, I would tell him, play down on anything. I learned a lot of things from Obama when he was campaigning, because he knew that he needed the white vote. He didn't spend a lot of time in the black communities. You go and check throughout, his campaigning was more in the white communities. He was more on the faces of the white communities. He was busy buying their confidence. He was busy letting them know that they will be the better off if he were the president. And at the end of the day, he bought their confidence. So for now, Mr. Obi should do a lot of engagement with the North. He should be able to visit the North. He should be able to network with their youth, should be able to arrange and be a part of certain special programs, because once the momentum is on his side, the Easterners will back him. So spending a lot of time on the East or matters concerning the East, for me, I don't think it's a very good political strategy.
Well, I mean, to further ask, do you think that would change anything? I understand what you mean, and when you say this need to, to engage, but you can also take out the fact that this is what it has been over time. We are very connected to, our religion. Our elections, every other time, the outcome of our elections have always been determined by several factors, religion and tribe. So is that going to make any difference?
It will make a difference. A lot. I'm contesting. And when you sit down to look at issues, but mine is a lot different. I'm on a monolithic, environment, so to speak. We're all Christians here. You may have, even with that, I'll tell you, I am an Anang man, but I speak Ibibio, okay? And Anang is a minority tribe. Ibibio is the majority tribe. Now, there's usually always mutual suspicion. So mine is to let the Ibibios know that they'll be better off in the hands of an Anang man, so to speak. And luckily for me, I would say I speak Ibibio. So I think that Mr. Obi should, this is an election, you concentrate more on your winning strategy. Your winning strategy.
Oh my.
Yes, indeed. We hope that we have
We hope that we'll get it back. But it's an interesting take off from Ezekiel Nya Etok, and the Obama example he gave is quite fascinating, quite interesting. And some will say that yes, Obama was really a toast of the white voters, and women in particular pushed him into power. And you can see that also he tried to get across the Latino supporters as well. And I think Obi has said several times that he believes that northern Nigeria holds a key. Yeah, especially to agricultural development. He has a lot of opportunities. He keeps saying it. But Ezekiel Nya Etok is a politician. So I'm sure he knows very well, better than most of us, what he's talking about. Ezekiel Nya Etok has given some solid advice at that. Glad to have you back, Ezekiel Nya Etok. Let's quickly look at what is becoming a messy situation with the Southwest, the Yoruba the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere. As we see in the Nation newspaper, it's going from bad to worse very quickly. The Nation has thrown some more light on this, claiming that Afenifere has dropped Pa Adebanjo as its acting national leader. That's on the one hand. The second one is the lot of Seyi Makinde, governor of Oyo State, who, though he didn't attend that meeting of Yoruba political leaders, he wasn't at that meeting, But he sent his deputy, and his body language and statements recently seem to be showing that he is supporting the APC presidential candidate. The Daily Trust has told us that Oyo PDP leaders are telling Seyi Makinde, OYO, you are on your own. Over to you, Ezekiel Nya Etok.
Okay. There are two things. The first is that Afenifere is a pan-Yoruba organization. Their interest is not national. Let's get that right. I always say there's a difference between a spokesperson of the party and a commissioner for information. Commissioner for information or minister of information is an employee of the federal government whose interest is national, whereas the spokesperson of the party has his interest as the party. He's not there to talk on national, he's talking about party interest. And a lot of times we get the things mixed up. So now Afenifere is a pan-Yoruba organization, and their interest is the Yoruba race, specific. But you see, Pa Adebanjo was becoming a nationalist, and I knew he was going to get into trouble. What he said makes sense, it is logical, it is rational, but the question is, were you asked to come and be logical or rational, or were you asked to come and be a defender of the Yoruba race? For me, it's an unfortunate call, and I think that the Yorubas will have to, on the other hand, you see, while what Pa Adebanjo was doing seemed to be going out of his enclave, he was strategically positioning Afenifere as a nationalist organization, like a big brother of some sort. And if they had succeeded, he would have been able to extend a hand of friendship to the Southeast, okay, while holding the Southwest as his main goal. And ultimately, because we are in a nation, when there's a national discourse, he might be able to win the confidence of the Southeast, add it to the Southwest, and be a bigger bloc. So it's about leadership mentality and opportunism and, foresight. I think it's unfortunate, but if Afenifere said, look, you're supposed to be talking for us and not talking for Nigeria, they have a point. But he also had a point of trying to let them know, look, it's a strategic move for us to have a big brother, because a day might come when you need somebody to stand with you against others.
Ezekiel, all right, quickly, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. It talks about, and I've asked Kofi that question, that's on a lighter note, Canada unveils plan to receive, 1.45 million Nigerians, migrants and others by 2025. And that's to address the issue of, the labor availability in Canada. Also, I want you to juxtapose it with the Nigerian, unemployment rate, which we're looking at 33.33%. And with the whole Japa phenomenon, do you think that we'll wake up, and find out that everyone is gone someday?
Yeah, I think, I don't know if we'll have time to take on the Naira notes change, but I would like to draw a nexus between all these things, Now, Nigerians need to think a little deeper and further. It is good for you to go to where, the bread has been buttered. But think about it on the...
Oh, no. We probably have another issue connecting with Ezekiel Nya Etok, but we're hoping that before we call it, wrap this morning on Off the Press, Ezekiel will be back with us to share his thoughts. Ezekiel, do we have you now? Well, Kofi, so it's a lot. I mean, if you look at that particular statistics and figure and juxtaposing the current unemployment rate, it feels like the Canadian government is very deliberate and they have already mapped out the strategy. There's a plan, and that's to fix the problem. It's not because we're saying, hey, if Santa Claus is in town already, it's Merry Christmas, and so come in and have a great time. It's just to solve a problem of labor, which they are actually faced with, and that's supposed to help, the productivity of the country. So looking at, the challenges of other countries and taking advantage, how good can the world be?
All right, until we have Ezekiel Nya Etok back with us.
Yes.
The architect, yes.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't know where I stopped, but I said I wanted to draw a nexus between what Canada is doing and, the change of Naira notes and something that Nigerians must know. Stuck again. Now, the first thing is that it is good for you to go to where the bread has been buttered. But think of your nation. Your nation is either going to get better or it's going to get worse. And if it gets worse, even you traveling out, there's going to be such terrible pressure on your family back here that you are going to discover that life is not going to be better for you out there, because you probably have to do a lot of sending money in, a lot of kidnapping of your people, and you cannot bring them all over to your side. So it's going to be a very terrible thing. So the question is, as at today, what can we do? I don't know if I'm still heard. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, great, beautiful. Okay, as at today, there's something that the CBN has done, and I've read all manner of commentaries, and people are just not listening, because we are very suspicious. Let me tell you, there is no way we are going to have a government that works, that makes sense, except we have a leadership recruitment process that is transparent, credible, and accountable, and that allows people whose primary intention is to come and serve.
All right. Ezekiel Nya Etok, before we go, I just
come so much of money. There's been. Can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear.
Hello.
You. Yeah, you froze for a second.
Yes.
We can hear you.
There's been so much of money starched up for vote buying for this election.
Okay.
And for as long as we allow that to be the case, we will never have the leader that is chosen by the people. And I think that Mr. President is really hell-bent on giving us a credible electoral process.
All right.
Let's be able to mop up this money from the system such that. Yes, you want to say something?
Oh, yeah, I was just about to, because we're wrapping up very quickly. You forgot to share thoughts on the Seyi Makinde situation. As a politician, I'm interested in knowing what you think about his stance, on his seeming stance to support the BAT. Very quickly, please.
It's wrong that, Seyi Makinde seems to be on the same page with
network is too charitable to Ezekiel Nya Etok. But we will surely have him back on the program next week. We have to leave it at that. That's off the press for now. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll have more discussions ahead on the program. Of course, we'll be talking about two very important topics earlier advertised. Please stay with us.